My name is Mike Cataldo. I'm the Chief Information and Instructional Technology Officer for Norfolk Public Schools, and I'm here today to talk about the Virtual Scholars Academy. I have a short presentation to show you, followed up by some questions that have come in from the community. The Virtual Scholars Academy, this is our plan for returning to school starting in the fall. As you see here, this is the Virtual Scholars Academy webpage. It is linked to our homepage in the division, and there are also multiple links that will answer frequently asked questions, discussions about schedules, expectations, and what the Virtual Scholars Academy is all about. Basically, the Virtual Scholars Academy is a semester-long commitment program. So for one semester, you would be committed to the program to either opt in at the end of the semester or opt out. The application deadline is this Saturday, August 15th. The Virtual Scholars Academy is considered a school within a school program. Students remain assigned to their home or specialty program. VSA students will be provided with NPS curriculum and pacing, just like students that are not in the Virtual Scholars Academy. The schedules will be exactly the same. VSA students will have the same daily schedules. They will also have instruction done through Zoom, which is considered synchronous instruction, as well as Canvas learning modules, which is asynchronous learning on their own time. VSA instructions will be for students homeschool or, again, their specialty programs. If a family would like to disenroll from the Virtual Scholars Academy, that would be considered on a case-by-case basis if it was done before the end of first semester. If changes are required mid-year, parents and guardians will follow the NPS opt-out of district transfer process, and that process involves working with the principal of the school. Virtual Scholar Academy website will contain links and resources and documents for training to assist parents at home and also to provide instructions for their students on how to navigate through Canvas and Virtual Virginia and Zoom. Students will continue to have access to the same online resources found in their home schools and specialty programs. Right now you see an example of a daily pre-K schedule. Our pre-K students will have short periods of time when they're working on Zoom, and they will also have many breaks throughout the day. For elementary school, it will start at the regular time that normal elementary schools start, but as you can see through this schedule, they will have frequent breaks throughout the day. And their reading groups and their health and their art and music are all courses that they can still take. The middle school schedule will be broken up for each of the blocks, very similar to as in the past. Students will take their A day or their block 1, 3, 5, and 7, and the next day they will have the second block of 2, 4, 6, and 8. Each class will be broken down into shorter segments: review, curriculum catch-up, 30 minutes of direct instruction with modeling via Zoom, and then as we go into additional modeling and independent assignments, that's when they can use asynchronous learning, and it will not be a Zoom session. And the same thing for the high school. Middle school and the high school have the same schedules other than time differences. That's all we have for the actual presentation, and with me I have Dr. James Pohl, who is the Chief Academic Officer for Norfolk Public Schools, and he's going to be asking me some questions that come directly from the community. Dr. Pohl?
Thanks, Dr. Cataldo. I'd like to start with a question that came. What's the difference between the regular school plan and the Virtual Scholars Academy's plan so that parents can make a better informed decision?
Okay, so the biggest difference between the two really is just what happens when the school division decides to come back to face-to-face or blended learning. The Virtual Scholar Academy students will continue with the online instruction. So that is really the biggest difference. They're going to have the same curriculum, the same courses, their same teachers all the way through. The teachers will be coming from their home school where they normally would be found, and they'll have just the option of staying virtual, at least for the first semester, and then they can opt in or opt out starting in second semester.
All right. Another question is, can we expect that there will be 2 daily Zoom lessons in the VSA even after all students are back? What would that schedule look like if a parent chose the VSA option and then all students came back face-to-face but they wanted to stay in VSA? How would that schedule change at that point?
So once students are in right now at the beginning of the year to ensure consistency and full support for all of our students, we're having the same schedule for VSA students and non-VSA students. When that changes it could be at the end of first quarter, depending on when the school board makes that decision. It could be the end of first semester. When that occurs, we're going to look for a similar schedule that the students in face-to-face instruction will be receiving. And it will also have some ability to have additional time for asynchronous learning.
All right, thanks, Dr. Cataldo. With the VSA coming out and with Norfolk being on virtual learning for the first 9 weeks, will the technology be more up to date for the virtual school as far as turning in assignments and submitting work and communication between the students and the teachers?
Yes, that's a great question, because this Virtual Scholars Academy and even our virtual and online learning the first quarter is going to be very different from last March, April, May, and June. We did not have a lot of time for preparation since we were just told pretty much the day we all went out. So we've had a lot of time over the summer to prepare. We have very robust curriculum. We have technology. We would expect that we would have frequent Zoom sessions throughout the day. We also will be turning in assignments via the computer, probably using some Google Classroom as well. So yes, everything will be online. And we do have devices for every one of our Norfolk Public School students. If the student needs a device to access the internet or to be able to do assignments, all they have to do is reach out to their principal, let their principal know, and the student will have a computer. Now, in some families that have maybe a couple more students or additional students in the family, we want each student to have a computer that they can use. So please reach out to your principals.
All right. So what determines if my child's accepted or denied to the Virtual Scholars Academy? And if they don't go or they don't get into the Virtual Scholars Academy, what will their schedule look like?
Okay, so we call it an application, but really in essence, no students will be denied entrance into the program. It is really a full pre-K-12 program for all students, and we will have supports for all student needs as well.
All right, and is this for pre-K as well, or just K through 12?
Well, we encouraged our pre-K families that would like this option to sign up. We're working right now with the state, and potentially it may change as part of second semester, but we feel that in the beginning we can still offer that same level of support and instruction as the regular school year will be that first quarter.
All right, and going back, you had said that this is for all students. Really, who exactly is it designed for? And some concern and confusion maybe around parents that have students with disabilities. And if a student has an IEP, can they go into the VSA, and will that IEP be supported?
Yes. Yes, all IEPs will be supported, 504 plans. Our English learner students, for example, they'll be supported as well. So we will have support for all of our students, much like we have during the regular school year. Basically, this will just be an online version of that level of support. So it is designed really for every student, and really primarily for parents that want to have some assurances that at least the first semester, the whole entire semester, regardless of what the rest of the students do, that they can be guaranteed to have an environment that is just going to be online.
All right. So if we're a VSA student, let's say, are we able to participate in school activities like clubs and after-school activities that are happening at the school level, and even at some point, if we're bringing athletics back in that are safe? How do we participate as a student?
Well, remember, the students are all tied to their school. So it's a school within a school program. So if that particular school is doing activities, and let's say we come back and it's blended and these activities are considered safe, then the Virtual Scholar Academy students will also be able to participate too. So they'll have all the same levels of additional supports, as well as any additional activities that non-Virtual Scholar Academy students participate in. So yes, including sports and anything else like that.
So if all students are going virtual first 9 weeks, why don't we just enroll all our students into Virtual Scholars Academy?
That's a great question, because I think that question initially, the reason why we got the Virtual Scholars Academy, and we started, of course, this very early in the summer, before the school board determined that we would have that first quarter be completely online. We wanted to ensure families that were reaching out to us that we would have an option for completely online experience. So now that the whole division is moving at least this first quarter into all online, we're going to have exactly the same experience they would normally have. And then as things go in second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, things may change, but families will also still be able to be guaranteed to have that completely virtual online experience. Again, they'll have to make that choice either by this August 15th, and the next window will be at the end of first semester starting into second semester.
All right, and I know, for the virtual learning, all of our students are enrolled in their next school, even if it's a specialty program that might be outside of their zone school. Mm-hmm. Will a VSA student be able to be enrolled in those schools as well?
Oh, yes. Yes, if a VSA student has been accepted into a specialty program, they will continue in that specialty program, and they will get the same instruction and the same curriculum from the teachers from that specialty program as other non-Virtual Scholar Academy students would have.
And I think you answered this one earlier, but I just want to reemphasize, I'm a parent. I have four kids at home, mm-hmm. and I have one computer for them to use. How do we accommodate for those students?
Well, we would want all 4 students to reach out. So parents would reach out to the principals of all 4 students, whichever schools they attend, and find out when the distribution date will be for computers. We want all students to have access. And if a family does not have internet access, we also have MiFis and hotspots that can be loaned out for the period of time for virtual or online instruction. So we want all families to be connected and to be able to have those same level of resources.
And Dr. Cataldo, this question came up a few times, is if I choose to go through Virtual Scholars Academy for my child, and then the school division comes back after the first 9 weeks, and I'd really rather have them go face-to-face at that point, or we feel it's safe, can we change our decision at the 9 weeks period?
Well, the 9 weeks period, we always want to give our parents options and choices. So if a parent would like to do it before the semester is up, they do have that out-of-district transfer process that they could contact the principal, let them know that they're interested in moving back to face-to-face, or even in that case, moving into Virtual Scholars Academy, making any kind of choice between semesters, and that principal will contact and work with that family to see if we can accommodate them.
So this question came up a couple of times as well. So let's say that we enroll my child in Virtual Scholars. We understand the first quarter is the same learning for everybody. Mm-hmm. What if the school board has to extend because the circumstances haven't changed and we're doing virtual learning for a little bit longer? Will my child still be in the same scenario?
Yes, they'll be in the exact same scenario, same teacher, same exact situation. Then at the semester, whatever the school board decides based on our conditions, they will have the chance to either opt out of the program, or if they don't want to go back to face-to-face and are not really sure about the climate and how things are going in the environment with COVID, then they can opt into the program.
All right. So a parent, they completed their application but haven't received a confirmation. Has anything gone from the division yet confirming their status?
No, not any individual confirmations, but right now, after the 15th, the principals will be getting a list of all of those students and families, and they will be contacting them, because the principals, again, are in charge of creating those schedules for the students, and much like they give schedules out for non-Virtual Scholar Academy students, they'll be doing the same thing for the Virtual Scholar Academy students.
And based on what you've answered already, if a student applies for the Virtual Academy, is there really a large chance for them to be denied for that option?
No. We have not denied anybody, nor are we planning to deny students. We really feel this is an option. We can make it work virtually for any student within our division.
So the Virtual Scholars Academy, is it the same as what's being done in Canvas, or is there any difference to it from what the division's doing elsewhere?
So Canvas is they'll hold the curriculum, and they're the distribution of the curriculum. So the teachers will be on their Canvas accounts. The students will also be on Canvas accounts, and they'll be able to see information coming from the teacher, getting downloads, getting curriculum from NPS from that area. It is different from Virtual Virginia. Virtual Virginia uses Canvas as a platform. We will also be using Canvas as a platform. We'll be using some modified Virtual Virginia courses, but really all of the courses in there will have that NPS curriculum and pacing tied to them.
So when you say using Virtual Virginia, I'm familiar with that program to know that it's fully asynchronous. So there's no live instruction at all. It's all based on feedback and communication between the teacher and the student. Is the VSA the same exact as that, fully asynchronous?
No. That's a good distinction because we're going to be using courses from Virtual Virginia, and this was originally coming from Virtual Virginia itself, the program. So our courses will use Zoom, which will turn that asynchronous instruction into synchronous instruction. So we'll be using Zoom on a regular basis, and we'll also be recording the instruction as well. So for families that potentially would like to see what kind of lesson occurred that day, they'll be able to come back at the end of the day and be able to kind of review and see what that teacher, what part of their lesson was in directing their children.
All right. I currently don't live in Norfolk. I'm a military family, or my employer is transferring me, and I'm going to be moving into the area, but it's going to be after the 15th. Can I still apply if it's after the 15th?
Yes, you certainly can. Just as you would apply to register in any school, during that time you would just apply as normal, apply with your school, and then if you're interested in the Virtual Scholars Academy, just fill out that application. It'll come directly to me, and we'll be able to get you right into the program.
So the next one might be a little tough. My 5-year-old is just starting kindergarten next month,
Okay.
and I noticed that he can kind of hold a 20-minute attention span on a Zoom meeting, but I work full time. Is there any guidance on how to make this work as a parent?
It is going to be a challenge, I think, in those situations. What we're going to be doing is we are going to really be looking at the age of the students and determining, how much screen time do they need. And if we need to, we will be able to have our teachers get parents get professional development, as well as our teachers getting professional development, to be able to help parents navigate that. So we definitely want to have resources for our parents, because we know this is brand new for all of us. And the more that we can train them, the better. And I would say in that situation, we would also look at having recorded sessions. So if their child during the day is with someone that is caring for them and not able to work with them instructionally, then they'll be able to look at those lessons at the end of the day.
Are VSA students eligible for free and reduced lunch, and how would that look if I choose to keep my child virtual the entire first semester, even though there's some face-to-face learning going on?
Yeah, so the same over this past summer, and during the first part of the closure, we continued with distribution sites where families would come and they would be able to get food for the family, and we're going to continue that same process. So they would still be able to do that kind of in a face-to-face, protected, socially distant manner, but the instruction would come virtually, would be completely online. And then when we go back to school, if they would happen to be not in the Virtual Scholars Academy and go back face-to-face, at the schools would be providing lunches and breakfasts and things.
All right. I have multiple kids. I have 3 children, let's say, in Norfolk Public Schools, and 2 of them I really feel comfortable want to do Virtual Scholars Academy. Does that mean I have to do that with my 3rd or not? No,
it's a complete choice. So parents can choose 1, 2, or 3, none, all, part. They don't have to indicate specifically. And again, this is an option that we want to give our parents. We've heard a lot over the summer There was a lot of uncertainty then, and we feel a little more comfortable now, the fact that the board has decided to go at least that first quarter. So this is really just an option for our parents that know 100% sure, at least for first semester, that they would like their child to be in online instruction.
So I applied for my child to be in the Virtual Scholars Academy, but now that I know for sure that the first quarter Norfolk has decided to go virtual and the board had made that decision, is there a possibility where I can just take my application out of the Virtual Scholars Academy?
Yes, definitely. All you need to do is you can email me. If you look at the website, my email address is on there multiple times. You can email me and I can remove those, remove your child's application, and make sure the school gets that information as well.
Those are all the questions from the community. Do you have any thoughts or comments you wanted to wrap up with today, Dr. Cataldo?
Really just to say that we want to give this option to families, that an option for complete online instruction. We feel very confident in the manner and delivery of that online instruction, and it's going to be exactly the same experience that students will be experiencing this first quarter. So parents ask, well, what's it going to look like? It's going to look exactly like first quarter. I showed you schedules, so those schedules will be what your students will follow, and they'll have that opportunity to be able to get that online instruction, feel that it's confident in the delivery of that. We're training our teachers, we're training our parents. We're really kind of going through and really want to make sure that that's a very honest way of doing things. And we thank the community too for all of your questions that we were able to talk about today and answer for you. If you have additional questions, please send me an email and I'll be able to get back with you right away, usually within 24 hours. And we want this experience to be great for all of you, and we thank you so much for listening.